Welcome back to the neighborhood, boys and girls. Our next guest tonight is James Corbett. Welcome to the neighborhood.
My man.
Good to see you. James runs a nonprofit called Project REFIT, which Envoy Mortgage was happy enough to partake in an event for one of our second Saturdays. And you do way more than just that kind of stuff. So you just had your big golf event
Yes.
that everyone was a part of.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the charity and talk a little bit about the why, because that's really what matters for everybody else. Like, why did that hit you so hard, and why do you pour your life into Project REFIT?
So, I mean, there's a very long, detailed, deep answers to the why, but to sum it up simply is there needs to be a change.
Sure.
Right? So suicides are on the rise among the veteran and first responder community. It's not just me. When I say the suicides are on the rise, I'm not here to raise awareness about it. People know about it, right? We don't need more awareness programs, right? We need actual action.
Right.
We need to inspire the American community in trying to get out of their homes to go and help each other,
Yeah.
right? To go and support one another, because at the end of the day, isolation is one of the biggest drugs that people actually get addicted to,
Sure.
right? I mean, aside from alcohol, drugs, and other things as well, isolation is where you go, right? And that when you isolate yourself, what are you not doing? Interacting with the community.
Yeah.
You're getting sad. You're getting depressed. You feel like you're not a part of anything. We need to bring people out of their homes. So that's why we really have the mobile bases that we're launching out and conducting missions around that mobile base, which you thankfully took a part of in your company, and I really appreciate that. It was very cool.
It was one of, I talk about it all the time. We've done 12 or 13 second Saturdays, and we've done homeless shelters, and we've done all different kinds of things. But for some reason,
Direct action.
I'm not a veteran.
Yeah.
My dad fought in Vietnam. My grandfather fought in World War II, the Battle of the Bulge. He's actually a part of a book that was there. But I never had any real, I never had any combat stuff, and none of my friends were really. I do have one friend, Brian, who was in Somalia, and he's had some issues from serving there and doing that. But I just think it's so horrible how we treat the people, whether you agree with war or you don't agree with war, whether you have whatever. People go and put their lives on the line, and they come back here to our country, and we say, oh, well, you get a zero down payment loan for your house, and that's about it. Go on and live your life. We really treat the country, the veterans, really poorly, in my opinion. So I really wanted to get involved in any one. I actually started and then had to stop. I had a nonprofit that I was working on a couple of years ago called Operation Shelter, which was taking homeless veterans and trying to get them back into the society. Because I've dealt with the homeless a lot, but people don't understand when you're homeless, it's not just the idea of getting a job or getting a house.
Not even close.
You don't have ID. You don't have clothes to go on a job interview. You're not assimilated to the public.
You might have addiction issues. You might have money.
So
definitely have money issues.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
it's not just
leadership.
like, dude, get some motivation and go get a job. There's like 80 things that have to happen before that.
That's something that I think is the whole thing of like, get motivation. I don't like that kind of stuff, because like I think it's a disservice to what's actually happening to the person. I think the complexity of people not going after their dreams is deeper than, or even going after improving your life is deeper than just a get motivated. No, that's not it.
Right.
There's a significant underlying issue at times with people, and in that case of a veteran, let's say, or you don't have to say veteran, it could be a first responder, it could be a regular everyday person, it could be you, it could be me, it could be him, who knows, but there's always something underlying that.
Always some trauma there.
Even trauma or just lack of self-worth or something like that, and figure that out, and then you can figure out why you won't, because if you just jump into getting motivated, then you're going to burn out, and you're going to get worse actually than you were before. So 100% learning what it is that is wrong with you is critical.
Sure.
And I think something, because you were saying like you really enjoyed working with us, one of the things I like to try to tell people is direct action's different.
Yeah.
When you show up to that individual veteran, him or herself, there's something to help them specifically. There's something different happening. You're actually showing that veteran, him or herself, I'm grateful for you and I'm grateful for what you did and I'm here to help you out. I know you're injured. Like that guy has heart issues. Like literally even just walking around, his heart monitor was like through the roof. So like if he even moved anything, he was risking a heart attack.
Yeah.
So like things like that are, you're looking at someone like the guy that we helped out, people walking down the street might not know there's anything wrong with them.
Sure.
Right? It's the same, because it's heart. You can't tell, you know what I mean? Same thing with the brain. You can't see what's up with the brain. You don't know how many times he's been blown up or how many times he's been shot at and things like that, right? So that's how we have to think about when you're working with veterans or first responders. I actually like to talk about even police. Right? Police live in their trauma. You kidding me?
For sure.
They work in their trauma. I had a guy who actually I could tell you a million stories of police officers I've helped out recently. There's many of them. But basically, instead of giving a story, because it can be pretty violent and everything else, and people are scared of that, but understandably. But it's let's just say that something violent happens on a street corner or in a house. The officer knows of that violence, or the firefighter EMT knows of that violence, knows either they almost got killed there, or they held someone who was dying or something like that in that spot. And then they drive by that spot for the next 20 years.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry. Let's take back up. Next 20 years.
Right.
So it's not necessarily one event that happened.
It's reliving that.
It's not even that. It's living in it. Right. Not even reliving. You're living in it still, and you're not even processing that. You might get like a reaction, like that little reaction every time you go past it. I call it brain pains. That you get going past these spots, right? And why aren't we talking about that? Why aren't we talking about that slight reaction, physical reaction that you get when you go by that spot? And you know what's fun? We don't even think about that, right? If a police officer pulls you over and he's an a-hole, right? And it's like, oh, that guy was so mean, I'm gonna send in a complaint. And take a step back real quick. Maybe that guy just saved someone's life, or maybe that guy almost got killed on the side of the road, or maybe he is just an a-hole. Who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows? But bottom line is, most of them aren't. Yeah. Let's be real. Most of them aren't.
No, of course.
Most veterans that I've met aren't. We all have issues.
Yeah.
Right? Like humble yourself for a second, right? I think that's something that Project REFIT'S getting across is we're all messed up. Yeah. Even the guys in the military are like looking up to these great, absolute savage warriors who are killing it out there, right? Like, both figuratively and literally, like killing it out there, right? Some of them. And then some of them are in office spaces, right? And they're still doing great. But they have other things that happen to them in their life. And then they're like, oh, wait, they're messed up too. It's just how you handle it, right? Yeah. It's just who you're talking to about it. One of my greatest interviews I've ever done with a military member, Lieutenant Colonel Pritchett. This guy is the man. He is literally star-studded, combat warrior. Every man and woman will look up to him like, wow, that guy's a warrior.
That's a dude.
He led men in war, right?
Sure.
And he shared a story one time where he literally said, he's like, I lost a guy. I think it was actually a couple. He was like, I lost some men. And I stood up in front of the room and I wasn't ready to talk yet. And he said something like real quick and excused himself out of the room for an hour. Where he went is he went to a bathroom, locked himself in there and cried. Just cried. And then he came back, gathered himself, cleaned himself up, went back out and took care of his shit.
Yeah.
Right? Are you kidding? That's some man stuff. You know what I mean? Like, he's not showing that he's crying. He's accepting he needs to. Why can't we just accept that we need to sometimes?
Yeah.
Just do it. Get it over with. Feel the emotion. Feel the sadness. And then go and take care of your shit. Take care of your men.
Yeah.
Come on. That was that was one of the most valuable things I've ever heard in my life. And I love to share that story because I know someone out there, a man, we need men out there, will hear that and maybe execute in that manner.
Yeah. I think it's, I don't want to get crazy with it, but I think it's one of the things that we tell.
I'll get crazy with it.
Me as a man, I was told that if I did things, I was less of a man. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm weird. I really love the Vikings, like the people.
That's not weird.
Vikings.
Yeah.
Because they were super emotional, savage warriors. Would have no problem breaking down, crying, telling everybody they loved them, and then going and taking over a nation. And they weren't afraid to show their emotions and things where people are like, oh, if you do that, you're weak. If you do, but really, like you said, everybody's messed up. You know? Everybody's got some type of trauma. Everybody's got something that either you address it and you go forward, or you allow it to eat you up.
100%.
And it goes.
It's funny. I actually shared the other day. Like for myself, people are always surprised when I say this, like, no way. And then they say to me that I'm not that way, which is so annoying because then it's like, thanks for absolutely diminishing what I just said, you know? Awesome. But anyway, like I actually have some serious anxiety when it comes to like going out in public.
Okay.
Right? Like I don't like networking all the time. I don't like doing that stuff all the time. Even like coming here, like you feel a little something coming here to do it, but like, gotta do it, man. Like you gotta just go, and then I recharge. I'm actually an introvert. More of an introvert than an extrovert. I'm just good at speaking about what I love.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody knows Project Refit. Everybody knows everything I'm doing with that, right? What do you know about me?
That was my question.
What do you know about me?
Yeah.
You don't know anything, right? Because like I'm to myself, I'm private, like I like it that way. You know what I mean? Like I like being private and I like having my own life, and like Project Refit is what you know me for, and I appreciate that. People that I let in close get to know me, get to know my life and stuff like that. That's cool. But like I like to stay private with things, you know what I mean? Like my love life, my family, my best friends, you know what I mean? I have those people who I see all the time, or I talk to all the time, and I like having them on the side. You know what I mean? Because it's, you know why? Because it's a separation. You got Envoy Mortgage here, right? Sorry, I didn't know I was on the other side too. Envoy Mortgage here. That's your professional life, and then you might have your personal life here with certain things you want to keep just for you. You know what I mean? Like, I would gladly say I'm an artist. I like to paint. I like to draw. I like to write. I mean, that's where a lot of the things come from. That creating the images for Project Refit and like leading from that way and like thinking where's the future going to go. I love thought experiments, things like that. But I mean, I'll share those things, but I'm not going to tell you who I'm talking to. You know what I mean? Like from my love life. I'm not going to tell you who some of my best friends are because they're my best friends. You know what I mean? Like I just want to keep them with me, like for whatever they. If you meet them, you meet them, right? But like, I'm not gonna blow up their spot. Yeah, exactly. You know, like, and it was funny. Tim Jennings one time asked me on his walking and talking with Tim. He was like, "Who is James Corbett? Like, where'd you come from? Do you have a mom? Do you have a dad?" I'm like, "I have a mom. I have a dad. They're married still, and you know, like they're religious people and they're good people." And I talked about my grandmother recently a little bit, actually on the documentary I was just interviewed on, and like, I actually cried. I'm so nervous about it, man. I actually ended up crying on the documentary talking about my grandma was like a hero to me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cry here because I already got it out, I guess. But my grandma, I told the story of how they asked me like, where did your heart come from? And I'm like, it's really my grandma, man. Like, my grandma used to bring people in off the street, dude, and like feed them and like take care of them that way. And like my grandfather would be like the side of me where I'm like kind of private. He'd be like, June, what are you doing? Bringing in these random people.
I want to help people just out with our house.
Literally all races, colors, creeds, religions, all of it. She didn't care. If you're on the street, you're coming in. Come on in. Come on, grab. I made some spaghetti and meatballs. That's awesome. An Irish woman who learned how to cook from her, stepfather who was Italian, and you know, Italian and meatballs, I guess. I don't know. And like just, she was just bringing them in. That's awesome. And yeah, it is, man. And like it is awesome. And what a beautiful image to live by. Yeah. Right? And like that's my why, I guess, right? But a little bit of why I went to my why. And somebody asked me before too, to answer your question with the why, I guess. So why do you do this? And why not? My answer literally is why not me? Why not me? Why can't I go out there and try to help veterans and first responders and the entire community in a new vision of America? Why not me? Yeah. Right? Like,
well, I mean, listen, a lot of people are scared of that.
I was depressed for 2 years straight with knowing what I had to do. I'm not even joking. I was very depressed. I was really heavy, and I'm an athlete, right? I was really heavy. I was in my thoughts. I was down, and I was scared, and because I knew the vision I came up with was massive. The products I was building are massive, and like the things I'm trying to combat against, I am not a part of. So all of the things that are people like, oh, he's not a veteran, don't trust him, and then they get to know me and they're like, wait, he's kind of cool, right? And it's like he's like legit, you know, like, oh, he's not a cop, don't trust him. Wait, he's kind of cool. He is legit. He actually is. And like it took me years to do that. I mean, like, why not though? Right? Why not me to try to, because I saw it, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go try to solve the problem before it happens, and here we are. So, there you go, man.
That's great. That's an awesome answer. So, do you have a favorite, I don't, you probably don't want to talk about the individual, but do you have like a favorite case or a favorite project in Project Refit that you got involved with where you were like, man, I had some doubts before this, but now I know for sure this is where it's at.
So, dude, there's so many, but I think the Lieutenant Colonel Pritchett one was powerful for me individually. But I think what you're asking, and just I'm gonna clarify.
Yeah.
What you're asking is, when did I realize, oh my God, I'm doing it?
Or did you help out someone specifically that the
Like,
the
oh my God,
feeling
this
that
is
you
happening.
got was like, boom, damn right, I'm exactly right
Every
on
time
my vision.
so the reason, okay, so you are asking it that way.
Yeah.
Every time I help somebody, I feel that way.
Okay.
Literally, I'm not even joking. Like, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm so happy and grateful that you just called me. Right? I'm so grateful and happy you just reached out. Like, I'm so happy that the dad has reached out saying, I don't know, like, what happened, but my daughter has, like, hope again. Thank you so much. Right? Those kind of things. You know what I mean? Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but I guess I'm going to take it to another direction too, though. And
Sure.
I'm just going to answer when I realized, oh my God, we're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a couple years ago. It was back, I think it was like the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, I think, right about. And we had this guy that reached out, and he told us that the message that we're spreading was really just impacted him, right? We drew out some, like, I hate saying this now, but like this demon, you know what I mean, that was in his head, and like we I guess we agitated it or something, right? And like by demon I mean his traumas.
Yeah.
And the dude reached out. He was like, "Can one of you guys just like listen to me real quick?" I was like, "Yeah. What do you mean?" Totally. That's why we exist, right? But I didn't say like, "Yeah, what do you mean? Totally." No. I was like in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, this is my opportunity. Like, let's go."
Right.
So I was like, "Let it out." And the dude just let it out. And then later on, like a couple days later, he tagged us and said, "These guys just saved my life."
Yeah.
What? Dude, I'm getting chills actually saying that right now. Like, are you kidding? Like, that was, because I'm remembering how I felt in that moment, and like,
what better could you do,
dude, it was
with
so,
your time?
It was so cool.
And
Yeah.
have that impact.
It was so cool.
Going to bed knowing that you impacted somebody in that
man.
way has to just
You know
make
Ashley
it-
Owens?
I don't. I know
No.
the name.
All right. So Ashley Owens is a good friend of mine. She's like a networking guru. Ashley,
Okay.
the networking guru. I'm talking to Ash right now. So she's laughing. She's laughing. But she actually, because I also struggle with patience sometimes. I am a very patient person, but with my own projects, with like Refit and my for-profit too, I get very impatient sometimes because I know I have a solution. You have to sit back and be patient, right? And wait for your time, because you're working towards it, you're going for it. That's what I say to myself. However, I have people like Ashley who are like, dude, STFU, literally, but she says it, I'm not going to say it on here, and says, you're saving people's lives.
Right to the point, right?
All right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Awesome.
It is awesome.
that is really awesome.
Yeah,
I
man.
probably said that word a little bit too much in this interview, but it is awesome.
Glad you feel that way.
So let's go. I try to do something forward. Let's go 2 years from now.
Cool.
What are some of your goals, and where do you see Project Refit and James Corbett June of 2024?
So I'm hoping by June 2024, so I'm going to bring up my for-profit. I hope that my for-profit has a headline that says, impact has helped law enforcement save, X amount of children from sex slavery.
Okay.
And then I want to have Project Refit. Project Refit has helped reinvigorate a community here in this rural community. And veterans are now have a mission at home to help their local community and each other. over the mobile base.
That's two real direct ones. That's awesome. Okay, so if someone is out there listening to you and they either want to know more about your for-profit or they want to know how to get involved in Project Refit, how can they get in touch with you? How do they find out more?
So let's just focus on Project Refit. If you want to know about the for-profit product impact, you can just reach out to me on LinkedIn or whatever. But Project Refit, listen, we're looking for monthly donors. We're looking for big time, actually. We're looking for business sponsorships. We're looking for volunteers. We're looking for states to go to and people who need help. We're looking for veterans who want reunions with their old brothers and sisters that they served with, and we'll pay for that. And we're looking for all that, right? All that help. And where you can go for that is projectrefit.us. You can reach out to us through there. You can email me at projectrefit.us. You can also just go to our Facebook page, Instagram. Facebook or Instagram is really the best spot to go to, or LinkedIn, but Facebook or Instagram at Project Refit, and reach out to us directly if you want to get involved with us anyway. I want to also say, for monthly donors, if you're doing $25 or more, you will get a nameplate on the inside of our mobile base. For $25 or more a month, you can dedicate that nameplate to a fallen brother or sister of yours, to a son or daughter, to a dad, to a mom, whoever, or just have your family name on there, and you will be traveling with us everywhere we go and supporting us in our missions.
Sweet. And now you just did have the golf tournament that you do.
We did.
Do you do more than one event like that a year,
Yes.
or is that your main thing? What's the next thing coming?
The next thing coming, we actually have a motorcycle we're going to be auctioning off. We're also going to be hosting, we're just going to go for it and try new stuff out. I like to, anybody that wants to join in with us, I always tell them, I am not going to be telling you how you're going to help us. You're going to tell me how you're going to help us, right? So you're a part of the team at that point, right?
Okay.
I don't want to have to order you around. I'm terrible at that. Like, I'm already aloof, you know what I mean? You tell me what you're going to do, then you do it, right? Like, I'm not going to micromanage you. Anyway, so one of our new board members, Pat Carney, is a combat veteran. He lives down towards the shore. He grew up down there, and he wants to host a Texas Hold'em tournament at one of the casinos down there, and we're looking for help to get that off the ground. We're going to call it Hold'em for Heroes.
Okay.
I'm announcing it first here. We haven't even announced it out yet.
I love it.
We're having our first meeting about it actually next week. But Hold'em for Heroes is what we're going to do. We're thinking a $500 buy-in to keep it pretty low so that, you know, even veterans can get involved and stuff like that. So if you want to help us out with that, please contact us. It'd be great. We also have a softball tournament we're doing on October 1st. We've been trying to get it done. However, the partner organization that we're working with, so Sheldon Stewart with TVRC, the Veteran Reset Center, he actually has cancer. He's getting treatment on that, so I had to cancel the one that we're going to host in May, the week before our golf outing.
Okay.
And we pushed it to October 1st. So if you want to help out with that too, that'd be great. We're going to do it at Trenton Thunder Stadium. And we're going to have it, yes, it's going to be really cool. Yep, it's going to be really cool. And if you have any connections to sporting venues or events, let me know. We'd love to show up and bring vets out to that too.
Awesome.
So, and first responders, of course.
Awesome, James. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome. We will definitely see you. We'll be right back with the next guest on Mr. Mortgage's Neighborhood.